A woman's vehicle was recovered after she was carjacked at gunpoint last week in eastern Jefferson County. Those responsible still haven't been caught.
It happened off of New LaGrange Road near Linden City Hall. Our Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Jessica Farley met with the therapist and mother, who's now speaking out to warn others.
I mean, the vehicle is absolutely trashed. It doesn't even feel like mine anymore.
This is what Melanie McDermott's car looked like when she saw it at the impound lot. Police recovered it off Preston Highway, but a crew of at least 3 took it from her in Linden last week when she left work. McDermott came out to her car and saw another vehicle moving around in the parking lot.
2 people got out of the car. One went around to my driver's side. The other came around the car to me on the passenger side and put a gun in my face and said, "Give me everything now."
Linden's police chief says carjackings don't happen often in the area, but that they are working with LMPD on the investigation. As far as LMPD data, it shows that there have been 93 carjackings this year. That's down from 147 this time last year. Although carjackings have decreased, it's still a traumatizing crime. Unlike a car theft, carjackings involve violence or the threat of violence. On an episode of LMPD's podcast, Sergeant Justin Stillwell offered advice for someone facing the situation.
You should never lose your life over your vehicle. It's a piece of property. Do what you can to keep yourself safe, your loved ones if you're with your family, and cooperate to the best of your ability.
That's exactly what McDermott did, and it's guidance she agrees with.
After going through something like this, it's like the most important thing is I'm here in one piece and I'm with my family, and that's, above all, most important.
Even though the cars returned, some things were missing, like photos, car seats, and her children's toys. Those, she says, are replaceable, but a life isn't. In Linden, Ian Hardwitt, WHAS11, on your side.
Also today, Louisville Metro Police sent us some tips for you to prevent carjackings, especially right now with people shopping in places all over Kentuckiana. Make sure you park in areas that have very good lighting. Limit your distractions like being on a cell phone as you're parking, and drive away if someone approaches your car. This afternoon, 2 drivers are dead after this fatal head-on collision on Taylorsville Lake Road in far eastern Jefferson County. According to Metro Police, a preliminary investigation found that one of the cars crossed over into the center lane, hitting the second vehicle head-on Taylorsville Lake Road. Both drivers were pronounced dead at the scene. The LMPD traffic unit is investigating this crash.
We now know the identities of the 2 people killed in that Chickasaw house fire from early on Monday morning. The 2 were identified as a 65-year-old man and a 7-year-old boy. Louisville fire officials tell us they believe the fire was accidentally started by flammable items located near a space heater in the home's living room. A 3rd person, another adult, was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and we do know there were others at the home at the time of the fire, but they all got out okay.
Around 6 a.m. this morning, Louisville Fire Department was called to a structure fire on South 4th Street. This happened in Old Louisville, and when Louisville firefighters arrived in about 3 minutes, they saw smoke coming out of the 2nd and 3rd floor windows of a 3-story building. 25 firefighters were on the scene this morning and put the fire out in about 20 minutes. The fire was called in as a vacant structure fire, but fire crews say they still searched the building to make sure it was empty.
The weather is dropping as the temperature gets really cold, that people are searching for warmth. They want to stay warm and survive, and we do take that into account, whether the structure is occupied or not, to check to make sure there isn't anybody in there.
No firefighters were hurt in this fire, and right now the fire department's arson unit is working to determine the cause of the blaze. And then in the aftermath of several recent fires in our city, the Louisville Fire Department is warning everybody to remain aware as the temperatures drop again.
Alexis Jones and photojournalist Emma Gafter spoke with one of the fire chiefs here about how you can keep your family safe.
Over the past few weeks, Louisville Fire says it's seen a rise in fires and homeless encampments around our city, including one last week that left 1 person dead and another one with injuries. While it's still unclear what caused the tent fire on College Street, officials hope it doesn't happen again.
We want to make sure that people are kind of paying attention. We want everybody to consider public safety a job for all of Metro Louisville.
Fire Chief Brian O'Neill is urging community members to be more vigilant, not just with your own home, but any encampments or vacant structures.
Because those fires in vacant structures, they oftentimes go unnoticed and they'll build to a larger potential, which can then impinge on the homes nearby.
This is why O'Neill says it's crucial to call the fire department at the sign of danger or turn to the city's homeless services and shelters if you're in need of a warm place to stay. However, outreach workers say that's easier said than done. Last Tuesday, they told us Mayor Craig Greenberg's administration has pushed people away from resources since taking office.
We've had more clearings in the past couple months of this administration than we have in a total of years together. And that's not okay. So we need to do better.
In a statement, Greenberg's office said Metro's homeless services team works every day to connect people with permanent housing resources. They also work to prevent public safety hazards like open fires that are often found at encampments. Chief O'Neill shares the same sentiments Tuesday, assuring the city provides the best options for weathering the bitter cold. In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS 11 on your side.
Last year, the city had 9 multiple alarm fires, and of those, 6 started in vacant buildings. The majority of those fires happened in the cold months.
New today, Kentucky State Senator Sen Harper Angel of Louisville announced that she will not be seeking re-election in 2024. Harper Angel has been representing District 35 in the Kentucky State Senate since 2005. That district runs from downtown Louisville directly south to the South Park area of Jefferson County. Before the General Assembly, Senator Harper Angel made history as the first woman elected as the Jefferson County Property Valuation Administrator, serving a long time from 1990 to 2004. In a statement, she says, quote, "It's time for a new chapter, focusing on my personal life and creating cherished memories with my family."
Highlands residents are speaking out against an idea to have Metro government and taxpayers fund a massive new development right near Cherokee Park. We're talking about One Park Plaza at Lexington Road and Grinstead Drive. It was approved for construction back in 2019. Well, now top Metro Council members support creating a special taxing district to get the project built. People who live in the neighborhood are pushing back. During a public hearing on Monday night, residents expressed concerns about their tax money going to the $554 million project. More than 30 people showed up to talk about the special taxing district, called a TIF. It would pump tax money back to the developers to help fund the project. But if built according to the current plan, Jefferson Development Group would be able to use $114 million in tax dollars over the next few decades. 24 people took to the podium to voice their opinions. All but 3 were against it.
People who live around there don't want it, so please don't use our tax money to pay for something that we don't want around.
The One Park project will affirm our city's commitment to the future of urban development and help us remain competitive to attract and retain economic investment, talent, and visitors.
The Labor and Economic Development Committee is meeting today. If they make a recommendation, the ordinance will need Metro Council approval before going into effect.
Also happening at 6 o'clock tonight, Jefferson County School Board holding its regularly scheduled school board meeting, and we're expecting to get a new update about the ongoing transportation issues facing students and the school buses. The board's expected to examine progress made in the last few months with the drop-off times and the hiring of more school bus drivers. According to the agenda, at least 10 drivers started on the job this week. They'll also review the new process of handling bus referrals, which started last month for unruly students, and the move toward transporting fewer students by bus that in the coming school years for the plan. So we're covering the meeting for you. Look for updates as we get them on the WHAS 11 News app, and a full report from our team at the meeting on the WHAS 11 night team at 11 o'clock.